Welcome to the Site-65 podcast. I'm your host, Robert Tomato Peterson. And with me, as always, is Keegan. Keegan, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And joining us this week, also calling in from Retirement Island, is Richard. Richard, how are you?
Yo, doing good.
So, Richard, I'm still trying to find the Retirement Island. No one's given me coordinates yet. I'm
That's not
very
exactly
sad.
how it works. You'll find out
Is it like
soon enough.
a Nirvana thing?
More like it at least. Best way I can explain it is you'll eventually get yourself a ticket to some random island and your plane ain't ever gonna arrive and you'll just end up in the place you want to. It's weird, you'll get used to it. It's some weird door place.
Hmm.
Just one day you'll open a door and behind it isn't what you expected, but
So you
what
just
you
don't want
actually
it.
wanted.
Yeah, kind of weird. You want it, but you don't want it, but you want it.
Oh, it's more, you definitely know that you want it. It's weird to explain. It's like
Right.
explaining pataphysics to somebody.
So last episode we talked a lot about drug use, and boy, was Site Command not happy with that.
Oh, really?
It's the shock of exactly nobody.
Yeah, Site Administration was very, very upset with the amount of drug use being done by certain members of the research department.
Cough, cough,
Uh,
cough, cough, a certain individual.
Yeah, I haven't seen
yeah,
him lately.
no, because he got sent to rehab.
He's doing a cross test with me and Apple. That's pretty cool.
His
Hmm.
rehab is cross-testing.
Yeah, I think the rehab might have been just electroshock therapy, but I'm not entirely
Don't
sure. But yeah,
question Site Command, or else you might find yourself in a black box.
I don't know about that. Do you mean like a
Oh,
coffin or like?
oh no. I'm talking about an anomalous box which makes you disappear from reality.
What SCP is that?
Bold of you to assume that everything Site Command has is classified as an SCP.
Figures.
It's kind of in the job title as research. We just kind of assume everything weird is an SCP. Hell, I'm convinced half of the JRs are SCPs.
To
I'm
be
convinced
entirely
Carl is
honest,
an SCP.
your Site Command holds a lot of things you don't know about and just doesn't classify them as SCPs. Then research staff doesn't need to know about it.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I wish Site Command would be a little more open and honest with us, but I also understand that they have their secrets too.
Well, clearly.
So, I want to briefly talk about retirement. So, I retired from the research branch effective last Friday. We're recording this September 14th, and so it's been almost a week since I've retired. And so far, all I've done in retirement is play Minecraft.
Like that game.
Let me tell you, retirement's awesome. But I do miss the SCPs.
Wouldn't be able to
Again,
say the
that's
same.
what the job ends up doing.
Yeah. I miss hanging out with 999. I miss, testing on 682. I miss throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. But at the same time, I feel like I've left a good enough legacy within research that things will continue on without me and I'll be fine. Plus, I'm still allowed access to come back into the lunchroom and talk to you guys on a, semi-regular
How the
basis.
hell do you manage that? Don't
I
Site
see.
Command.
I did the thing where I left and I didn't piss everyone off on the way out.
I didn't piss everyone off on the way out, but again, there is some strict rules of secrecy the Foundation has to keep up. I'm more shocked that Site Command. I'm not even gonna ask.
Well, it was very simple. They said, "Look, we know you're not supposed to be here, but people really like the podcast. So, keep it to that and, don't poke and prod too much and you could keep coming back on site. So I set up shop in Pinewood, got myself a little house out here, just a little shack.
So
And
they did the translational equivalent of if you have two choices. You can cooperate and live, or we can have an accident with you.
yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure that if you do ever find yourself breaking their rules, you won't just be reprimanded.
yeah, but I'm not planning on breaking any of the rules anytime soon. That's not really my position in the foundation anymore. Mine is kind of that of a guest lecturer slash researcher, where I can occasionally partake in research experiments if I feel like it, but most of the time I'm just going to leave that to, the other actual researchers who are still on salary. But thankfully, my pension kicked in, and now I'm getting a good amount. Hi, Caesar. I see you're back from rehab.
Yes,
How was
I
it?
did not expect this to come so quickly. I thought we'd get an announcement an hour before. I had to get lunch.
Yeah, well, I did send out an announcement through comms saying, hey, we're going to be recording an episode of the podcast.
I mean, a lot of people don't keep their scheduling right.
Yeah. Get a journal, start
Uh,
writing things down. But Caesar, we were actually talking about you earlier. After last week's episode, site administration sent you to rehab.
Yes, I escaped.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
Well,
the
I mean,
fact that you
technically, I
just
didn't escape.
You walked out
Sorry,
the front
continue,
door.
Richard.
oh no, you just say that shit so nonchalantly, like it's not gonna get you and us probably immediately into trouble.
Well, the thing is,
Well, you.
technically speaking, I did legally escape, so there were no issues with the code of conduct in that situation.
Ah, so you didn't accidentally leave half the stuff on the floor, things like that.
Well, I didn't accidentally do that, but I mean, you get the point.
I
You
don't like how you
intentionally
said you
did
didn't
that.
accidentally did that.
You intentionally did that.
Look,
I'm just
Caesar,
saying what she was thinking.
last week's episode, last episode, I shouldn't say last week, 'cause it was only like 4 days ago, got us into a bit of a
Correct.
pickle. Site administration came down on us hard. Now, you have been away in rehabilitation, and
He was
not
supposed
sure.
to be in rehabilitation, to correct you on that exactly, but yes.
Yes. And I got the brunt of everything. Now, they
What'd they
couldn't
do to you?
necessarily. It was a lot of yelling, a lot of taking them to chem labs and pointing out where the drugs were, and them taking the drugs.
Yeah, your drugs are gone.
Please
Well, they have your stash
specify.
now, so
You have to specify taking the drugs or taking the
I was
drugs.
gonna say.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say taking the drugs, I mean physically removing them from the premises.
Correct, because if you say taking the drugs, some viewers might assume that you got incredibly wasted right then and there, which would be a very Caesar move, to be fair.
That or the higher ups
Well,
did as well.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, I'm straight edge. I don't do drugs to begin with.
that'll
And I think
change.
that's a don't say things like that. You say that constantly, and I'm worried. I'm worried that one day it's going to slip up, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what's this needle in my arm? Oh, it's heroin. Thank you,
I think I'm
Caesar."
addicted to heroin now, so that's good.
I was thinking more like paint thinner.
Oh my God! Stop with the paint thinner. Look,
I
I
like
know it's
paint.
cheap. You could just go to Home Depot and buy a thing of it. But at the same time, you can't just be huffing paint thinner all day.
I mean, yes, you can. It's just not good for your health
Richard,
or your
don't
sanity.
encourage him. No.
I am not with the health and safety inspection. I very much don't have. I have my gripes with ethics, so this is just a perfect opportunity to mess with them.
This isn't messing with ethics. This is someone's health.
Yes.
I mean, the
Exactly.
things I'm about to do are about to be a little unethical, but
What are you planning?
well, I just did a test where after 912 was breached, I had him slip me his service pistol, and I'm thinking about
And
doing some actions in recovering your drugs.
that is how all ones stay in their job.
I don't think you should be
Just
making
answer this
active threats
question.
on the
You do want
podcast,
your
dude.
drugs back. You do want your drugs back, right?
I don't want the drugs back because I didn't have any to begin with. I gave them all of your drugs
Why? Why would you do that? Well,
because
you
I don't
gave them
have
half
any
the drugs.
drugs.
You gave them half the drugs, so
Girls, let's not fight about drugs, okay?
only true
What?
executive researchers would have multiple stashes. If you
Caesar,
only have one, that's a skill issue.
I'm retired now. You know this. I retired last week.
This is true.
I am no longer technically an executive. I can still show up and host occasional lectures and do occasional testing because site administration likes this podcast, but at the same time, I am not an executive anymore. And I
Okay, so
never
you
had
only
any
have
drugs to begin with.
one. You only have one. Oh, you never had drugs. Okay.
No, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff.
You don't even sell them?
No.
Hmm.
Why would I need to sell them? I make pretty good money from the foundation itself.
I mean, fair enough.
Also, eventually
A
we'll start getting
non-drug.
sponsors. We'll start getting sponsors on this podcast, and then the money will be rolling in that way.
Damn, a researcher who is not addicted to drugs. You are a rare specimen, good sir.
Oh, and you know what? That leads into a
I'm not
good
addicted to drugs
segue
either.
since it is roughly the middle of the episode. Speaking of sponsorship, drumroll
Sponsor.
please.
Oh boy.
Drum roll, drum roll, drum
Drum
roll.
roll, drum roll.
We don't have one. But at the same time, if you like the show, you could support it. There's a link in the description of each episode to a site that you can go and you can support the show on. It's only $1 to support. You could donate anything from $1 to as much as you want. And all the money goes to keeping research sane and keeping our coffee supply coming because research runs on coffee. And of course, any extra cash that isn't going to coffee will be kicked back to the host of this show. So if
I
you'd
like
like to
coffee.
support us there, you can go ahead and support us in the link down in the description. If you don't want to support us, I understand. If you don't want to support Caesar's drug habits, I get it completely. Just know that you're making me very sad. Also, make sure to
Don't
follow us
worry.
on Spotify and YouTube. Anyways,
I'm not
back to
taking
what
the
we were
money.
talking about.
I don't need the support. Trust me. Don't worry. I got it.
Fair enough. That's very.
He's
That's a
already
very
selling
legit
enough
thing to do.
drugs. I mean, if you can self-supply due to being a
Got a
researcher.
rocket. What the hell?
What?
No, we're in the lunchroom, Caesar.
No, I just heard a firework.
Oh, maybe they're playing with 999 or something.
Yeah, they like to play at 99 or fireworks.
Or
Level
someone has been experiencing a negligent discharge of their explosives.
That
Again.
too. You know, that
Yeah,
happens sometimes.
it is.
Yesterday,
Or it's a raid.
sorry, tomato.
It is kind of alarming how often there are explosions in the Foundation.
You get used to it after like the 36th time.
Yeah, you don't notice it after a while, but just occasionally a big one rocks the Foundation, and yeah, it's pretty bad.
Speaking of which, I did a test yesterday with 7722.
Oh my
Basically,
God.
I gave him a large mustache. I'll show you a picture later of it. And then I gave him a little monocle and I gave him an IED detonator along with IED explosives.
That
All
is.
Why are
right,
you
Saw what he
why
back
are you
up,
allowed to do
back
these
up.
things? I'm not even
Why'd you give
allowed to
him the
like.
mustache?
I don't know, I thought it'd
Hold
be
up,
like
hold up, hold up.
like
You
a villain.
Does being an executive just give you this power?
What?
I gave the knight explosives.
You
Yeah, but
gave
why'd you give him the
the
mustache? He's a suit of armor. He doesn't have a face.
I glued it on his Helmet. His
Hell,
crestfallen helmet.
I cannot express into words how much I hate that sentence.
Look, you can't just go gluing mustaches on our SCPs.
You would have loved me in Monsters tests
I do not know how you
Why?
people manage to keep
because
your
we got a lot of people
casualties.
killed.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
Egan
Would've
did some
loved-
crazy stuff too yesterday.
I don't believe that for a second.
Okay, yeah, I lied. I just wanted to throw him under the bus.
Of course you did. I haven't done crazy things in like years. That was like when Launcher left.
Egan, I mean,
My crazy years are over.
debatable.
At
We
least
have
my
talked about a
intentionally
few of your
crazy years are over. My unintentional, it's not on purpose, okay?
Keegan, do
Stop
you
that.
remember when we first started that we what is it? We put a top hat on 682.
Oh, that was fun. Then he got
Yeah.
pissed off.
He
Yes,
did get pissed off. He got very angry.
I will assume you didn't put that the hat there and instead a D class put it there, which like is in the best case scenario no longer having that arm.
Well, so here's how we did it. Basically, we had 682 locked in his little vice grip that holds him above the acid so that people can clean the acid pit. And while they were cleaning, we lowered ourselves down on a crane and just kind of plopped a top hat on top of his head and then craned away. And he stood there looking at us for a little and then looked up at the top hat, then looked down back at us and said, "What the hell is this?" And I said, "Oh, you look so dapper, 682." And he said, "If you ever fucking say that again, I will murder you." And I said, "Oh."
Said a
I mean,
lot
he
of
was.
obscenities.
I mean, it's very likely he would murder you anyway, so I wouldn't be too worried.
He threatened me in Mantra that he'd murder us very slowly and painfully. Me and him just kind of
Yes.
laughed. Yeah, we laughed. It was kind of funny.
Speaking of 682, I've done with 682. I know your guys's was insane. I did a blunt rotation with 682.
I've seen that happen before. I've seen people hotbox 682.
You can hop.
No, we were in the same room.
Yeah, I know. 682 has an affinity for weed.
Why don't you join
That's
us sometime?
I don't smoke.
I used to.
Not yet. That's the
Oh,
mindset of a quitter.
No, it's the mindset of someone who doesn't want to get addicted to a drug.
Not willing to put in the effort. I see, I see.
Oh my god. You are a mess.
Well, to be more precise, he's just a massive addict, but yes.
I mean, yeah, but like, look, I have one rule, and this is the only rule I will ask of you. I cannot control your drug use. I do not condone your drug use.
Yet.
I will make one rule. Keep it away from 999.
It might be a little late for that.
He
Oh my
said
God.
while
Yeah.
999 has multiple researchers have helped 999 roll a blunt because
I think he's
it
done
was
cocaine.
funny.
No,
I mean, wasn't it funny though?
I mean,
You
it was
have-
funny to us when the poor exec ended up screaming in anger, and over his threat of death, O1 detained him. That was funny.
You can't hurt my jelly.
He wasn't hurt. He was enjoying it. Trust.
He is-
said while
he is
turning
basically
the
an infant.
innocent child into a drug addict.
Crack is what turns babies into men.
No,
Yeah.
that's not how that works. Richard, your mouse is very loud. I understand that you're calling in
Apologies.
from a remote location, but at the
Hold up,
same
let me
time,
just. I think I have a fix for that. Give me a second.
I want to
Richard,
talk
what
to
are
you
some
about
crazy
something.
things you've been doing? Same with you, Tomato.
I've only been retired for a week. I've just been coming on site to like occasionally host a lecture or something. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft.
Real
The
quick, you're probably going to need to redact this. Please redact this in the podcast, but soon, if you'd like to join me, we're going to do an SCP-610, The Flesh That Hates cross test.
Yeah.
That's not redacted.
It's not?
Oh, it's not?
No.
It's basically
Oh.
00... Well, never mind.
You know, yeah.
Oh no
Yeah.
no no no
Yeah,
no
I've
no
known
no!
about it.
Actually, you see, that's the fun part. We've done a
Be
similar
careful with
cross
what you say here, Richard.
Oh, I wouldn't be too worried. Besides, all I'm gonna do is give you more work, so it's not that concerning. But, well, the only crazy thing I've been up to is finding out that the bartender here seems to be unable to die.
Is he a
MTF
robot or
has
is he just?
extensively tested that. No, we're talking as in, I'm personally convinced there is some kind of weird eldritch being, but
That's okay.
again, it leads to some fun bar games, but yes, I don't
I mean, that might be
drink
spawned from
too
your
much.
schizophrenia from last episode.
Hmm?
I've been
That
working
is
on a little
very true.
something because I've been tinkering with stuff.
No.
I've been working on a.
That's quite no. I mean, it is an anomalous lagoon, and CI can't remember me anymore, so you know.
Well, if we're talking about what we're
Apple,
working on, what we
apple.
did, I've been working on a.
Oh, someone else just appeared.
Hello?
Yeah, they sat
Unless
down
I'm
at the
going
table.
blind.
I don't know if they're very interested in talking. I think they just want to listen.
Alright. I've been
All
working
right then.
on a proton particle acceleration unit.
Where was
It's one
I?
of like the ideas tinkering in my brain. I don't think it'll work out, but
What do you think you're gonna do with that, Keegan?
I'm not too sure. I wanted to work on ectoplasmic beings, but I don't think it'll work out pretty well. It just kind of burns stuff,
What
and
if you build a
ethics frowned on it.
yeah, ethics frown on a lot. What if you build a simple proton accelerator and then put it on 914? Put it in
Simple
914.
proton accelerator.
Don't give me good. Don't give me good ideas now. I'm
Listen,
at
that
the.
could be fun. It could
That could be
I don't
really fun
know,
actually.
jumpstart the next big bang or something.
And you thought I was crazy.
Well, putting anything in 914 is fun,
Except organic
but
material.
I mean, what do you mean? The security
We're
guard we
not
chucked in there was an absolute hilarity.
Okay, look, we're not supposed to put organic material into 914, but we do occasionally. I get it, it's fun, it's
I'm,
interesting, it's something to do, but at the
oh no,
same
it's just
time,
malicious.
yeah, that is CI for you.
I mean, again, the result of you have probably seen the result of what happens when you chuck a security guard in there on very fine. Funny enough,
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
actually, no, you've only probably know the D class version because what we experienced on it was just not pleasant for us.
Real quick, tomorrow, Tomato, I'm gonna do a 914 test. I'm gonna put triglycerin and uranium-255 into SCP-914 on very fine, and I'm gonna see if I can make like a molten reactor gluten creature, eldritch being. Can you assist?
Potentially, questions arose. How are you going to get this uranium into the Foundation? And don't say we have a supply of it. If you
I was
do,
thinking you
I'm
could.
gonna.
You have it in your reactor.
That is
You
true.
have
We
a
do have
reactor.
reactors on site. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
just
you
go
do
steal it
have
from the
one.
reactor.
I mean, you do have spare rods, and nobody does check the supply except for E11, and E11 are easy to bribe. I'm not indicating anything. I'm merely stating facts.
Yeah, you're
You
not
are coming
indicating
up with
anything.
something
You're just kind
interesting.
of you're just giving ideas. Yeah, I'll be there to assist with that.
I
All
gave
right,
an
we're
idea
gonna
for.
need to get like a mobile task force on it though, because it's probably gonna breach containment.
Oh, that's fine. You can let it breach. Someone upstairs will deal with it, probably.
That is true.
See, I'm
But
hoping it will just make like little bread babies, and I can have an infinite supply of gluten for my diet.
To be entirely fair, this smells like I've teleported bread. I've done nothing but teleport bread for the last 10 days.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
It's a Team Fortress joke.
Uh
Yeah.
I only play good games.
What?
Excuse me,
I'm
I'm
My
gonna
Anyways, that's
assassinate you,
the
ouch.
end of
Tomato.
this episode. Thank you
You're
everyone
dying,
for
Wow.
Tomato.
Yeah,
hosting
You're
you're
very
dying.
much.
dying. You're
I
dying.
gotta
You're
say,
Yeah,
dying.
everyone
man.
I'm gonna kill
hosting has
you.
been
I'm gonna
great.
kill you.
Dr.
All
Okay,
right,
Secret,
I'm
someone
type
ID
green
him.
in the chat
Someone
Richard,
now.
and
ID
Type
him.
Keegan,
green.
thank
Type
you
green.
very
Get here
much for
now.
hosting.
Oh, don't get the type green. I
Greatly
fucking hate them.
appreciate.
They're assholes, dude.
This
Please.
has
Don't make
been the
fun of me.
Site-65 podcast.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
your
we're not
host,
getting
Robert
type.
Tomato
We're not getting
Peterson.
dash
Thank you
B. We're
very
getting
much
dash
for
A.
Oh,
listening. Good
okay.
We're
He's
night.
done.
cool.